I know both of us feel a bit ignited on like using our voices, and like this is not a time to be silent. This is not a time to be complacent. This is not a time to be like, oh, this is supposed to be happening and like just sit back and watch it happen. Like, no, yes, it is a part of what needs to happen, but it also, we need to be out there in our communities and using our voices and fighting for change.
Welcome to the Multiple Truths podcast. We're your hosts, Holly
and Brittany. This is a space where we can come together healing in community, where we share our self-love journeys, insights, and wisdom.
A space with no hierarchy or judgment, fostering love, compassion, and respect, and where we honor our differences. With open minds and hearts, everyone's truth is welcome here. We are in this together.
Let's dive into the episode. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Multiple Truths podcast. If you're watching, you could see that it is both Holly and I today. Hello,
Yes, hello.
You probably see that it's a change of scenery.
Yeah, we're in a new space.
Yeah, what space are we in?
Yes, we are in my new home. Yes, Brittany's visiting California.
Yay.
And I just recently moved to Santa Cruz. If you've been hearing me talk about in past episodes, I'm like wanting clarity on where Eric and I were supposed to move. And yeah, we found our new home in Santa Cruz.
It's so cute, you guys.
Yeah,
it's so cute. A little like beach town. We went for a walk this morning. We walked to the beach.
Yeah, it's so cute here. It was between like San Diego and Santa Cruz. And like obviously we both have our hearts are like in San Diego, but Santa Cruz is so cute. It's definitely like a beachy town. Like people come here to surf. And yeah, it's just it's so calm. I was just ready to get out of, we were in the city in San Francisco, like you visited, and ready for just more calm, more peace, more ease. And this just feels like a vacation spot.
It literally does. I'm like, it feels like a vacation home. Like you wake up to the birds chirping. The frogs are chirping. What do frogs? They like, gurgle. Gurgle, gurgle.
There are so many. Oh, what is it?
Crickets?
I can't think of it, but there are so many frogs here.
There's so many. There's just all of the creatures here.
What is ribbit? Right?
Ribbit. They go ribbit. But what is that? Yeah, they go ribbit. But what is that? Like birds chirp.
Grope, or I don't know what it is. But they are very loud, like very, and we have like a little stream by our place too.
Yeah.
So there's just so many animals, so many birds.
So cute. The energy is so sweet. It's I'm so happy for you. Like it's genuinely really beautiful, really nice. Your old place was really nice too. Just obviously going from city to like
being in the city in San Francisco. Now we're like out. We have double the space. And there were, I think I told you this. There's a woman that used to live here. Her name was Dolly, and she was 96 years old. And it's very much like grandmother energy in this home. It's very like nurturing and sweet. And she's still alive. Like she's living in assisted living down the road, and all of the neighbors come over and ask like, oh, how's Dolly doing? It's just like a really sweet like grandmother energy. She left us so much of her furniture, and it's just I feel very fortunate to be here. I'm just like so grateful that it worked out. I feel very like asking the universe, God, to send us where we were supposed to. And like this, just right when we came in to view this space, I just like got that overwhelming sense of like, oh, this feels like it's it. This feels like it's it. And I was like, oh, is this it? And there was like a rainbow on the floor, because like there's like a glass table, and it ricochets like a rainbow on the ground from the sun coming in. And I just saw the rainbow, and then bluebirds are my sign too. And there was a bluebird on the curtain in one of the rooms, and I was like, oh, this feels like it's it
for us.
Yeah. And I was like asking, I kind of like, I don't know if you've done this before, but like asking the space, like, is this,
like permission almost. Yeah.
Like, is this where we're supposed to be? Like, is it okay for us to be here? And right when I was thinking that, the realtor, the lady who was showing it to us, was like, if you want it, it's yours.
Oh, chills.
And I was like, oh, okay. I think this is it. This feels like this is it. So just so grateful for clarity to come through with that. And we've just been settling in and love it so much. So
after being patient for so long.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah. Grateful for clarity. So I'm glad you can experience it.
Yeah. No, I'm so happy to be here. It's it just, like I said, the energy is so beautiful. And I'm in town. I had some ceremonies over the weekend, visiting Holly today. So lots moving, a lot going on. But today we really wanted to have a conversation just about, the state of the world. There's a lot going on in this world, and we're not going to get into the nitty gritty, like the details, as to each and every issue. But I think it's something that needs to be talked about, especially, in the spiritual space. I know that like both Holly and I we're both very spiritual. But like I always say, I don't like to be associated with the spiritual community. And again, this is not me talking ill about people who do like to be associated with the spiritual community. I want to make that clear, but I know you feel the same way, and we're going to get more into why. I just feel like there's so much, we talk about spiritual bypassing, and there's just a lot of bypassing as to, what is really going on in the world. And it's something that really needs to be talked about, because essentially, like as a collective, we need to do our shadow work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I know on our episode, Let's Talk About Sex, I made like a caveat in the beginning of that one of like, I know both of us feel a bit ignited on like using our voices, and like this is not a time to be silent. This is not a time to be complacent. This is not a time to be like, oh, this is supposed to be happening and like just sit back and watch it happen. Like, no, yes, it is a part of what needs to happen, but it also, we need to be out there in our communities and using our voices and fighting for change too. It's not a time to just like go only inward and like like spiritually bypass of like, oh, this is supposed to happen, it's going to work itself out. Like, no, it won't work itself out if we don't get out there and do our part.
It's like we need to do our shadow work as a collective. It's like when you go internally, you can't ignore your shadow. It's not just going to go away by focusing on the love and the light. We need to, this darkness is coming to surface for us to acknowledge it. Like you said, use our voices to make that change. We have to do it as a collective. And in the spiritual community, they talk about as within, so without. Just go within, focus on yourself, which is true, and it is important to work and focus on yourself. But after working on yourself for a while, when you are sitting in your truth and in your light, that is when it is important to go out and make that change, so that we can create change on the world, because by bypassing it, no change is going to happen.
Yeah. And I think the reason we work on ourselves is so we learn to love ourselves, have more compassion, more understanding, less judgment for ourselves. So then that can be reflected in our interactions out in the world, because we're meant to be shining our lights, come back to our light within, diving into your own shadow. So then you can be that light out in your community, understand people, have compassion for people, spread your light, hold space, understand what's going on. So it's very much like you do this work on yourself so you can be that light out in community.
Absolutely. Because right now with everything that's going on, it's like so many egos are at war, right? It's like left side, right side, this, that. It's people's egos are just at war with each other, and people are not listening to understand. So it's like when you do the work on yourself, that's when you're able to let go of that judgment, let go of, all of those other things, and really listen to understand, to have compassion. And that is then when change happens. There's so much on this topic too, like what's also coming to mind too. And I know we're going to get into some of the things that's going on, because we do need to talk about it. But, all of these systems really need to like come crumbling down. And it's like, how are we going to make the change? Like it feels really, really, really big. And, it's a collective effort, but I know like a lot of people within the systems are awakening, and it's going to change from the inside out, which is why it is important to focus on you first, so that you can go through that awakening, go through that change, come home to yourself, then take action. But it's overwhelming to think about, because there's a lot coming to surface.
I know, because even like thinking about having this conversation, I'm like, oh my God, I'm anxious. This feels daunting. It feels like there's so much that has to change. And that's the biggest thing that I feel like we really need to understand is like, we are not here to fight one another. We are not here to like fight with each other. We're here to fight the systems that we have in place, because the systems that we have in place are not for the people, they're for profit. And it's just like very, like our systems are just like egoic, money, greed, power. And I think the more we can come together and see, like a lot of us want the same thing. We just have different ideas on how to get there, but how can we work together to start creating that positive change forward? Because right now it's just so dense, and we're seeing things being changed. We're seeing so much hate out in the world. And it's like, is that what we want? Is that really the life that we want? Like, I think it's going to, things like that are going to continue to happen for people to see, whoa, look how dark this is. Like, we need to come together to figure out how we can make this like a safe world for everyone.
Yeah. And something that I want to say, because I've been getting this message of like, judgment day is upon us, the dark days are upon us. And I grew up very Catholic, and I know with the religion I grew up in, they talked about the 3 days of darkness in the Bible, which is essentially the end of the world, when judgment day comes and, you know, God comes down and you're judged whether you're good or bad, you go to heaven or hell. And the world is coming to an end. You know, this is not literal, but judgment day is upon us. And it's not a literal 3 days, but it's going to happen. You know, I believe the messages I've been getting, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying I know exactly what's going to happen, because I don't. Like, we're seeing it unfold now, but I've been getting the message of like, the dark days are upon us, which is why these like there's natural disasters happening. We're seeing all of these scary things come to surface, right? For us to see it, recognize it, you know, and then do something about it. If you're listening to this, I'm assuming most people listening are on this path, you know, working, you have been working on yourselves, or you're starting to work on yourself, and
Awareness,
having that awareness. So it's people like you. It is people like you, the listeners. We need you. We need your voice. We need you to stand up to help with this change. We cannot bypass it, because the people who are at war with themselves and with each other, those are the people that need to go. Those people need to go inward. If you're already on this path, it is, and I have full body chills right now as I'm saying this, it is you, the listeners. I feel people attracted to this sort of a thing. You are the voices that we need.
Yeah. And it's like having the courage to use your voice, because I know for both of us, it's like having the courage to use our voices, even if it shakes. And it's like, because so many, I feel like specifically like women are really waking up, and women coming home to themselves, coming home to their hearts. And with that, there's a lot of fear of using your voice, because like, you know, just as a whole, it's like women have been suppressed for so long. And it's like actually having the courage to stand up to your male partner or friends, or like anyone, you know, just like being able to use your voice when maybe normally, like in the past, you've been a people pleaser and you've stayed silent and you've like agreed with what other people have said. It's like now it's time for you to use your voice from your heart. If any time that it's coming from a place of judgment too, it's like, that's not truth, that's not love. And there's so much out there where I really believe that people think that they're doing things out of love, but it's out of so much judgment for people, like specifically when it comes to gay, transgender, immigrants, abortion laws, all of that kind of stuff. It's like, I think genuinely people I don't know, there's like a skewed perception.
Absolutely. Like Seven of Swords is coming to mind. If you're familiar with that card in tarot, it's like that skewed perception. And, you know, like you said before, like I genuinely feel like everybody, we want the same thing. I feel like people are good at heart, but because of the woundedness, the perception becomes skewed. And I just want to go off something you were saying. You know, as I said at the beginning, I was sitting in ceremony this past weekend, and one of the darkest journeys I ever had to experience. And I'm not going to get into the details right now, but one part of the journey that really came through was how deeply rooted the patriarchy is. And I already knew this, but going through that journey, and I was in ceremony, I had to use my voice, and I actually had to say no. I had to say no to the male facilitator, and my voice, and it's making me emotional, literally shook at first. I like called out his name because he was, you know, doing something for me because I needed assistance, and it was feeling vile in my body, and I needed to speak up and use, and at first I was like, oh, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to let him finish because I wanted to be respectful. I wanted to be obedient, just do what I was told. But he wasn't stopping, and I was like, I couldn't shake the feeling, and I went to go say his name, and my voice literally like shook. It shook, and he did not hear me. And I like took a breath. I was like, and I said it again, and he heard me. I was then dismissed. And I still spoke my needs though. And that needed to happen. And I'm grateful for that experience. And
To
this
even
is,
show you how deeply rooted the patriarchy is, because
yes,
I think he played that
he
part
played
to
that
show
role.
you how deep,
He played that role for me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in that moment, what was coming through was how deeply rooted the patriarchy is. And in that moment, I needed the female facilitator. And that's what I was trying to say. And I knew what my needs were in that moment. But I was kind of like, and this person has a really good heart, and I want to acknowledge that this man has a really, really good heart, and I don't want you guys to think I'm talking ill about this person. The journey needed to go that way for me to see how deeply rooted the patriarchy is at an unconscious level. My needs weren't listened to, but what was coming through was like, women are so suppressed, and what was also coming through was I needed the female facilitator, but it's kind of like, she was like, I don't even know how to articulate it, but, the male role he was playing was like, no, I know what to do. I can solve the problem. You get what I'm saying? And they were showing me how vastly I was getting the message for like, just like the world as a whole, and even good men who do have really, really good hearts. It's not their fault, because it is so deeply rooted, but it's so deeply rooted that it's a much bigger problem than I think many of us are even aware of.
And I think we need to like really bring awareness to it, and obviously not blame the men, work together. But men also, I feel like there's this huge piece where men also need to realize how deeply rooted this is and check themselves, because we need to work together here and understand that how deeply rooted it is. And I think so many men, like you said, have good hearts and don't want to perpetuate that, but then there's still that underlying like misogyny and that comes in, and it's like, okay, let's bring awareness to this, because we cannot move forward like this. We have to bring awareness and help shift it back to more equality, because like women have so much wisdom and women need to be listened to. And I feel like men need to be listened to too, but so often we're pushing women aside, and it's like women need to stand in their power, help the men. We all need to work together to heal, and like men actually hold space and listen to women as well, because a lot of our systems in place, I think, need to be shifted, and I think they're going to be led by females, because we are connected to our hearts and have people's best interests at heart. And while men do as well, men can integrate that, implement it, and help it facilitate, but it's like we got to work together here. And something I want to just really talk about, just mention while I'm saying this, is like, I know in the in some of the Native American tribes, like in the indigenous tribes, the women would meditate and receive what they needed to do, like collectively for the tribe. They would receive the downloads for what needed to happen on the land. The men would come, they would listen to the woman, then they would go make it happen out in the world. They respected the women. They respected what they had to say, and they went to go do it. They worked together, and it was harmonious and beautiful.
Because they understood the value that women really do bring to the table. I feel like in current society, men don't fully value us women because they don't understand. They are so disconnected from, you know what I'm saying? Like women have portals literally within us. We're able to tap into that compassion more, tap into that empathy more. And I'm generalizing here, but it is the truth. And there's that. It's like we've forgotten as the years have gone on, and women are looked at as too sensitive to this, to that. And what's coming to mind is like the Oval Office. I've been like, I'm not American, but like I'm just like these videos have been popping up on my feed of just like the Oval Office, and all I see are these old white men.
Like little boys.
And that's all I see. I'm like, they're little boys.
They're little boys. And I think that something I want to just say real quick before we head into this portion is there's a lot of wounded women out there too. Absolutely. I want to make that like very clear. There's a lot of women disconnected from their hearts, but it comes from young wounds. Same with men. It comes from these wounds, and we just need love and compassion and get to the other side and come back home to our hearts, learn how to love ourselves. So I want to point that out too. But yes, absolutely. I feel like we literally have little boys running our country. And I think that message came through so strong when there was that picture, that image of Donald Trump RFK Jr. and Donald Trump's son, I believe that's who it was. They were on a plane going somewhere, and they were all eating McDonald's. And I was like, these are little boys running our country. Little boys eating McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's isn't a bad thing, but it was just like that needed to come through of like, these are boys, wounded boys, egoic boys. Yeah. And if you like them, that's okay. But I'm not trying to steer you away, but like that just feels so true.
And something I feel called to say too, we're, talking about Donald Trump right now and these wounded boys, being in control of America. Something I want to say, and I'll just be completely transparent. I'm like not right side, I'm not left side. I'm very in the middle, like in my honest opinion, same bird, different wings.
I'm very neutral as well.
Yeah.
I think there's things wrong on both sides.
There's things wrong on both sides. There's things I don't know if I want to say agree with on both sides, but it's like I see you get what I'm saying. It's like I'm same bird, different wings, and I genuinely believe that nobody should have that much power, and I believe that on either side they are going to say what their side of people want to hear so that they can gain that power. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the systems need to change. It's the systems that need to change. What is the answer? I don't have the answer right here, right now, but this is where we need to start using our voice to make that change. I don't think anybody should have that much power. I think that I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetime, but I know that it needs to shift and it needs to change. And like I said, I don't have the answers, but I just wanted to make that clear for those listening. It's not like
I feel the same way. Definitely the same way. And I say they're boys, and I say that, but like I underneath those, they're good people, because I do believe people are good people, but they're wounded, and a lot of people are going to be hurt by the actions of these men. Absolutely. A lot of people are going to be hurt. And I think we're really going to have to see that in order for change to happen.
And this is another thing that I want to say too, is like, and I have chills, like, thinking of the plane crash. I'll just give like a really a little, I don't know if I want to get into details because I don't want to, I'm like, do I want to say it? Do I not? It doesn't really matter. But the point with this, people are going to have to die. And that sucks. Absolutely. And we're already seeing that happen.
A lot of women are going to die.
Women are going to die. Men are going to die, but especially, women. And I've been receiving that message, and it is our duty. It is our duty to use our voices so that those lives mean something, because their soul, not that it makes it okay, but their soul, I believe, chose to sacrifice their life here so that us who see the truth can then stand up and use our voice for them. They no longer have a life. It is our duty as a collective. We cannot just sit back and bypass and only focus on ourselves, only focus on the love and the light. People are losing our lives. And if you see truth, it is our duty to speak up for those lives that have been lost. Sorry, I get passionate.
Yeah, and that's the only way things are going to change. That's the only way that they are choosing. There are souls that are choosing to pass away to be this example for us, because things are going to have to get really dark for people, for things to change, because it's like we haven't learned yet. We still need to learn. There's learning to do. Thank you for your service. Let it mean something. Absolutely. Let it mean something. Let's wake the fuck up. We need to wake up. We have to, because we have to learn. We have to learn.
We have to. And that's why the dark days are upon us. For the next, I want to say 4 to 5 years, it's going to get dark. It's going to get very dark. It's going to get darker before it gets lighter. But it yes, it needs to happen. But what's also true is, as we keep saying, is we can't just like bypass it.
It's unfortunate though that it has to happen.
It sucks.
You know what I'm saying? Like, does it need to happen? If we all would have, but apparently it does need to happen, and
because of where we are at, I believe in free will. Yeah. And because of where free will has led us as a collective, unfortunately, it does need to happen because of the state of the world that we're in. It's where we've gotten ourselves, which sucks, but that is the reality.
Yeah. And I think I remember Thomas Winlow saying that I feel like has been true, is like we're going through a 10-year dark period. We've been through about like 6 years of it now. We have 4 more years to go. And now it's really clicking, like really helping understand like, whoa, we are going through a 10-year dark period. But after this time, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier for our children, for the next generations to come. Like, I just feel like we get emotional. We have to like do this dirty fucking work so things can change.
Yeah. And you know, a message that I was getting to, like we were saying, it can be really hard to use your voice. It can be really fucking hard for many different reasons, right? It's hard to be the black sheep. It's hard to be the one to carve the new way. But think about it in this light. Our children, our grandchildren are going to be so fucking proud to be like, that was my grandma. She was the one who fought for fucking change.
She used her voice.
Yes.
You know who's doing Jane Fonda is such a good example of this. If you haven't heard of her, go look at some of her videos. She's like an older woman now. She's an actor or actress. She's in like Grace and Frankie on Netflix. Okay. I love her so much. But she's a huge activist and she is using her fucking platform, and she is an older grandmother woman, and I'm like, hell yes. Like feeling like leader of the revolution. I just saw a video of her. I saw a video of Alicia Keys, and I'm like, oh, these fucking powerful women using their voices and their platform, like really fighting for love. Fighting for love, because that's what we're fighting for, like really for love, for caring about one another, you know, because like we have come so far from caring for one another. And again, it's not about like people. I believe that it's because of the systems we have in place, because we have to work jobs that we hate to make money, to feed our families, to provide for our families. People are not happy, and people are having to do jobs that they hate just to make money. Hurt people. And when you're not in a good, like I went on a bike ride with my husband 2 days ago, and it was terrible. It was so bad. We did a 24 mile ride, but we didn't realize that it was all going to be uphill. Like 20? Literally climbing uphill, and I was so miserable. I wanted to hurt everyone. I was like when people would pass by, I couldn't even smile. I was like so angry, just like wanting peace and ease, and I'm getting this horrible trail ride. But that clicked for me in the moment of like, oh my God, like I'm spreading hate because I'm not happy, because I'm angry right now. So I can't like be kind to people because I'm fucking going through it. So like angry people, like, you know, like if you, it does, I feel like there's a piece where it does start with you. And you can be that light out in your world, but like you gotta fill your cup up and like learn how to, it comes back to learning how to love yourself. When I tell you, if I could teach everybody one thing, it would be learn how to love and have compassion and understanding and non-judgment for yourself, so you can go out and have that same lens out in the world, because there is so much judgment in our world. Like when that's like the biggest thing that I've been feeling. I'm like, guys, it is 2025. They're like, the amount of judgment, specifically for the gay and transgender community, we have spent so much time on the transgender community. Do you guys know that the transgender community make up less than 1% of the population? And we are focusing so much of our time and energy on that.
Yeah, it just like genuinely, when I think about it, and I agree with everything you're saying, I really do. When I'm thinking about it, I like don't understand the fixation. I'm like, why?
It's
like,
a scapegoat because it's a distraction. Why don't we focus on getting healthy, affordable housing, affordable groceries, like minimum wage or minimum? It's a scapegoat. They are an easy scapegoat.
It's like bullying. Like
yes, they're bullying the smallest minority.
It's like bullying. Oh, I have chills. It's, oh my God, it's making me emotional. It's like the easiest target.
Yes.
Okay, let's project onto you because I'm uncomfortable with what you're doing, because I don't understand what you're doing. I'm just going to project all of my insecurities onto you.
Let's focus all of our energy on that so we don't have to look at all the other shit that's going on in the world.
It's like, because like in my mind, I like don't understand it, because it's like everyone's on their own journey. Like why, like who gives a shit? As long as you're not hurting anybody.
Anyone, yes.
Who gives a shit?
Well, that's the thing. They think the argument is that they are hurting, like people. I know an argument is like, if we are having more transgender people, children within schools, if there's gay children within schools, like other kids that aren't actually like gay may start questioning their identity. Right. So it may get confusing for them. So they're thinking like, oh, these people are going to hurt our children. But really, they don't realize like, actually, no, it's the government that's going to hurt your children.
And like what's coming to mind too is, because like I said, I'm very sit in the middle with things. I'm just like, let people do what they want to do, as if they're not hurting anybody. That's my stance on it. I actually used to listen to, I forget her name, but a transgender YouTuber man who transitioned to a woman who's actually very conservative and talks a lot about people who transition and then end up like regretting it, committing suicide after and stuff like that. And which is why I think it's important to hear and listen to both sides.
Yeah.
But this is the problem. I feel like, because somebody told me this, I forget who it was, but somebody, I don't directly know this person, as I was saying, but I heard this through somebody else. So this girl had a brother and her dad favorited the brother. So she grew up with a lot of wounds and she ended up transitioning to a male and later regretted it because what she realized, it was in her wounded state where she thought, if I become a man like my brother, I will then receive the love that I didn't receive from my dad. So it was like a wounded energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's not the case for everybody who transitions. And I want to make that very clear.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. But the real problem is not other people who transition, making kids then feel like they want to transition. It's wounds, all types of wounds.
We just need parents seeing and loving and accepting their children just exactly as they are and like having open conversation. And we need to realize this is such a small percent of the population. Literally, it's such a small percent of the population and we're spending so much time and energy on that. Let them be. Let them be. Let us raise awareness and like support these. You know how hard that would be to transition? Can you imagine choosing that? Like no one wants, that's such a hard role to play. And I truly believe that transgender people are here to help us widen our capacity to have non-judgment and understand. I truly believe that.
I have chills. And I want to, with that example I gave, I feel like I want to say this, reaffirm this. I know that that's not the case for everybody who transitions. I'm not saying it's only out of wounds. Like there are people where I genuinely believe that is, and I have chills as I'm saying this, that is what they are meant to do for themselves.
Yeah.
It just gets murky because sometimes it does come from wounds. And I feel like there's a lack.
There needs to be therapy. And I think that is. I think there's things in place. It's so hard to transition. There are so many loopholes, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard like, and that's, I don't know enough information, but what I've heard is now it's just becoming like easier to, when I was listening to this it was a transgender person talking about this stuff, which is an interesting, viewpoint. Yeah. It is, especially in the States, is what I've heard, is it is easier now to like get on hormones. Like you could even do it, without your parents. I mean, I don't know enough details, but it's like, I feel like there needs to be, I've heard about in other countries, there are really good things set in place. So it's like, I understand like the fear people like on both sides, if that makes sense. It's like, but it just, you get what I'm saying. It's like, it's complex.
Yeah. And I just think like we need to have like just more acceptance and love and compassion and like love who you love. And if you're not hurting anyone, like love who you love. And it's none of our business. You do what you want to do with your life. They have become such a scapegoat. Like, why are we focusing? It's weird. Why are we so focused on them? It's like, okay, shift that. What if we put all that time and energy that we're focusing on the transgender and gay community into, okay, affordable education, affordable housing, affordable healthcare in the US? Like
human rights.
Yes, human rights. It's a distraction. And like people, like we need to see that. Like we have to wake up to that.
Yeah. I'm just like getting the image of like a schoolyard bully is what's coming to mind. Yeah. It's like just literally picking the smallest one, the easiest,
smallest one. They're literally less than 1% of the population.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how much time and energy has gone into that. Like, oh my gosh, can we start actually thinking about things that affect all of the people here? I know. And something else who is also bullied are immigrants. Immigrants do so much good here, do so much good. And just, we were telling you, obviously you're from Canada, but like even the White House put out a video, an ASMR video of putting immigrants into handcuffs and getting them on the plane. And the ASMR video is like the clanks of the handcuffs, like clanking and clanking and clanking as they're walking up the steps of the plane to get transported back to where they came from. When I tell you, I watched that video, I felt so sick to my stomach. This is coming from the White House. This is pure evil. This is evil.
I literally have full body chills. Yeah, when you said that to me, like I was getting visions of, the Holocaust, the Nazis is what's coming to mind. And even in my meditations, like I'm Canadian, but what's been coming through in my meditations, like when the election was happening, Spirit has been, I got the message that Donald Trump is a direct reflection of the state of the world, and they keep comparing him to Hitler in my meditations.
Yeah, and it's just, I feel like a lot of people are seeing that now. And I think if you voted for Donald Trump, this isn't like shame on you. Like, I truly believe that people that voted for him genuinely thought good. I think that people are good and you have good intentions, and thinking that it was going to be not this serious. Like he's implemented so much, like it's serious, like it is affecting so many lives, and this is serious.
Yeah, he's not like, neither side is your savior. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is why nobody should have this much power. And the liberals were in power before this, and a lot of people then voted for Donald Trump because they were like, look at what happened with the liberals in power. And it's like, I'm telling you right now, America, I got this message before the election, America is already a sinking ship. It's not either side that's going to save the country. We need to come together in community. We need to save the world, the country,
to fight
whatever.
For each other. We need to fight for each other.
Like, he is not the answer. The left side would not have been the answer either. It's like, it's neither side, and it's everything needs to change. What is the answer? Love. All the love.
Non-judgment, understanding, and like working together. And something I want to say too is like, I can understand where people do want illegal immigrants, like obviously like go, I see the argument, but I feel like immigrants really support, so they're so beautiful. Diversity is so beautiful here, and people think that they're causing more crimes here, like getting the convicted felons getting like more crime rate is happening because of the immigrants that are here. Like our president has 34 like felony counts on it, and he's trying to get, like, if you want to start with someone, start with the person that's in office. Like that's the one who has the power that is hurting people. Do you know? It's
like, as the leader of your country, he's not even allowed in other countries. Like, that's so bizarre to me.
Oh really?
Yeah, because of his like he's not allowed because of his charges or whatever. He's like not allowed to step foot into other countries. Like, I don't know, I'm not saying every single country, but I think like there's some countries he's not allowed to enter. I could be wrong, so let me know please if I am, but I'm pretty sure he's not allowed. Which is so interesting. Looking to connect with like-minded community on your journey of self-growth, self-love, and spiritual discovery? Join the Beehive, a supportive community hosted by Holly and I, designed to help you on your personal transformation and healing journey, and to help you tap into your innate wisdom. With live monthly Q&A sessions, exclusive content, and a like-minded community, the Beehive is the perfect space to grow and step into your most authentic self. For more information and to sign up, check the link in the show notes. But just kind of like a side note, something that I never really understood growing up, and I think about this now, is like, we're human. We are human. It's like, I feel like, and I know it's more complex than this, and I want to acknowledge that, but it's like, as humans, like, we should be able to go where we want to go. Like, why do we need passports? Why do we need these things? Like, it's just, do you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate culture and, being proud of your culture and where you're from. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, and I know it's so much more complex than this. I understand that. But it's like, we've set up so many rules as society. Like, oh, you could only go here with this. You could only go here with that. It's like, I'm a human. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of Mother Gaia, this earth. I should be able to go where my soul is called. I shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? And this is where, and again, it's so much more complex than that, but it's, anyways, getting into immigration and all that stuff. It's just,
and immigrants come here to like, provide a better life for themselves.
Literally, like my parents, like
provide for their families.
Like my dad's an immigrant. I'm first generation on my dad's side. I'm second gen on my mom's side, but like my whole families are immigrants. A lot of like white people are, you know? And even just getting into like, just like racism, like there's so much, like,
well, even like the DEI, he's blaming a lot of things, like defunding or getting rid of DEI within companies, all of that kind of stuff. And something I just want to say too is like, again, coming back to the heart space, because there's so many immigrants that are working on like even around here, like I pass so many that are doing like construction builds on my run, and like, it's just such a hard time for immigrants, for transgender, for gay community, for women. Like, a smile goes so far. Like, when I'm running past them, I say good morning, hi, and like you can just tell they light up because you know, I'm a white woman, you know, in a kind of like, you know, middle class neighborhood, and so it's like actually saying hi and good morning, like we are people here, you know, like treat people like people, you know.
Oh, there was something so powerful. There was like a plane that crashed, but everybody survived. It crashed on the landing. I forget exactly where, somewhere in the States. Oh, I have full chills. There was a man, I watched his interview. It was like a long interview, like about 10 minutes. I sent it to you, on YouTube. And at the end, he said, we were just people. Like we were just a person helping another person. Race didn't matter. Gender didn't matter. Nothing mattered. We were all human. And I feel like things like that are going to happen to wake people up so that we see each other as human, because like I said, the patriarchy is so much deeper rooted than we're aware of. Racism is so much more deeply rooted than we are aware of. There's unconscious bias.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need to like recognize that for real change to happen.
Yeah, and I think that's where the beauty of the spiritual lens can come in, of like, okay, let's see why that plane crash happened. What was the beauty? What was the message in there? What was the deeper message? What were they or the other side trying to communicate with us? Oh, the beauty of community, the beauty of coming together and helping one another. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter what you looked like. We were all fighting for each other, making sure each other were okay to get off this plane and that no one died. It's like it brought together community. And even like with the LA wildfires that were going on and the hurricanes that have been happening, what has it been doing? It's been making people lean on their communities, because that's what we need to do. We need to lean on each other. We need to come together. We need to fight for one another, show each other compassion, and invite each other into our homes, take care of one another again. It's like we have become so far from, and one of my friends is traveling, and he said, like, when you go around, like, he's in Vietnam and he is walking around and like everyone's just like smiling at one another, like happy, kind. If you walk around in America, this is the difference that he feels. Like in America, he walks around and he feels so close, like no one's looking at each other, no one's smiling. It's like, oh my God, we're feeling so unwelcome. But he's going to these other places and it's so nice. It's like, where are we,
it's guys? It's a world of a difference. I remember my first really big trip. I was in my early 20s. I went to Bali for a month. Some of the poorest people I've met in my life, like children walking around with mud barefoot, genuinely the happiest people I've ever met in my life. And that was such an eye-opening experience for me.
It doesn't matter about money, status. No. Oh my gosh, we have become so materialistic.
Yeah. And something that's coming to mind that I really want to talk about, because abortion is like a really...
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that too.
Yeah, is something else that's like really big, especially in America right now. And from a spiritual perspective, this is why like I am very spiritual, and I do like to use a spiritual lens sometimes. I just really don't like the bypassing, and there's certain things that I really don't agree with.
It's like the spiritual bypassing of everything, of like, oh, let's focus on love and light. Let's not focus on what's going on. It's like, no, we got to harness our spiritual connection, bring it down into this earth and do good with it.
It's another form of disassociation. But anyways, from abortion from a spiritual lens, as a medium,
we talked about this in previous
I think I've mentioned this. As a medium, what I've come to learn is these souls, they already know what's going to happen before coming down. It's a soul contract. They choose it, and they know that they're not going to come to full term. And these babies, they're happy. They're in love. They're in light. They're often, still with the mother, with the family. And there's a deeper meaning for it. A woman choosing abortion is often, I want to say like an initiation into further growth, because she has to choose herself for whatever reason, and that forces them to face uncomfortability, shadows within them, or whatever it may be, and to choose that for themselves. And
or it's like a tower moment of like, okay, I'm not ready for this. What changes do I need to make in my life? No, you're good. Yeah.
I'm choking on my spit, you guys. Excuse me. But Yeah, like the baby knows already. They choose it ahead of time, and they're happy to do that for the growth of their mom. Like they're happy to. And also time is not linear the way we're actually experiencing it, right? So that baby, if that soul wants to have a human life, it's gonna have a human life. And it's not really needing to wait the way we think time it waits, if that even makes sense. Like, so that's something else that I just want to touch on, because growing up very Catholic, I was very against abortion because that's what was perpetuated. That's what I was taught. And it was,
I.
yeah. And there was so much fear, instilled around sex in general and, all of those things. But obviously through my growth, my perspective has really, really shifted. And so I just want to share that for those listening.
Yeah. And something I want to touch on too is like we've said in other episodes too, is like those souls, those babies, they go straight back up to God, straight back up to love. They are like they are all good. And something I want to touch on just about like all of this is like, you just don't know until something happens to you, until someone is faced with being gay, someone is faced with being transgender, someone is faced with getting pregnant and they are not ready and they have to have an abortion. Like, you can have so many judgments until it happens to you. How can we start to shift that of like, why can't you just come back to your heart and have that compassion before it having to happen, to really be able to see someone? Because you see so many people shifting their perspective when something happens to someone that they love. Like, like one of their children turns gay or is gay, and then they have to open their, and some of them don't, and then that's a really hard thing too. But something I want to touch on too is like, we both grew up Catholic, like we've said, and with abortion, there's so many saying that it's wrong in the name of Jesus. Like, you are killing these children of God. You are killing, and in the name of Jesus, this is a sin. This is wrong. When I tell you, that feels like blasphemy. Like, that is like, those people believe that. And I genuinely can see why they would believe that. But on my journey and just coming more home to myself, coming more home to my heart, realizing, having so much compassion for women specifically, doing what they need to do for themselves and for having ownership over their body. God, Jesus, is non-judgment, unconditional love. Like, that what is being perpetuated in the name of Jesus is hate and judgment and slander, and it's so far from love.
The darkness has infiltrated so many of these things, including religion, including the spiritual community. You know what I'm saying? Like New Age spirituality as well. It's like there's so much darkness, if you want, the ego, the devil, whatever label you want to put on it, has really infiltrated all of that. And fear is ruling a lot of these things, and the perception that people have is so skewed. And where does it stem? Wounds.
I feel like almost a responsibility in a way to help people. Like, we do need to restore our faith. We do need to believe in something. We've got to, God and Jesus are real, and Mary was real. Like, we got to believe in something. Like, yes, pray. During this time, I've been praying more than I ever have, and I get full body chills because prayer is real. We need to pray. We need to, but it's unconditional love and non-judgment. And when you look at things, there's so much judgment. There's so much shame on you. If you do this, shame on you. Like, no matter what you've done, you are a child of God. You are loved. You are enough. You are worthy. It just feels like there's so much that's being done that's perpetuated. People do believe that they're following Jesus and they're following what the church intended it to be. But it's like, if you really were honest with yourself and looked at that, look at how much harm you're doing. Look at how much shame you are perpetuating onto people. That is not love. No. That is not love.
So everything that you said. So what I want to say going off of that, it's like, if you feel judgment toward any group of people, toward anybody or anything, I just, challenge you to pause, take a step back. How can I view this from a lens of understanding? How can I try to understand this, as opposed to, because when you're judging, you're really judging something within yourself, right? And that's why I said at the beginning, it's like egos fighting, it's egos clashing, egos are at war right now, right? Not understanding people. Anyways.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I think too, it's like natural human instinct to judge someone.
It's like get curious.
Yeah, it's like that automatic. I find myself judging people sometimes, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see that I'm judging them. Let me sit with what is coming up. Because oftentimes it's like something within me. It's like, okay, how can I like let that judgment go? Like have compassion, not judge myself for having judgment, because I think that's part of the human experience, but getting curious and not letting it run the show.
Yeah. It's like, get curious. And it's like, okay, how can I like acknowledge it, recognize it, don't take action on it, get curious about it so that you can understand it, because only then can you showcase compassion, and only then can real change, you know, happen. And going back to what we were talking about, you know, at the very beginning, from a spiritual lens, the state of the world, like Earth is going through a death and rebirth. You know, the spiritual community is right when they say as within, so without. People are hurting right now. That's why there's so much chaos in the world. People are at war with themselves, which is why all of this war and all of this is going on. So, you know, it is important for people to start in here. Absolutely. But once you do, that's when it is then our duty and our responsibility to stand up for those less fortunate, for those who do not have a voice, for those who have lost their lives. And it feels daunting and it can feel overwhelming, but you're not alone in this. We are doing this together. We're doing this as a collective. And by you having the courage to use your voice, you are giving permission to other people, for other people to use their voice. You know, not that you need to give anyone permission, but it's kind of like you're paving the way, and it will cause a ripple effect, and that's what we need.
Yeah. And I think something I want to acknowledge too is like people are at war with themselves, though, I feel, because of the systems we have in place, because people have to do things to make money, to make an affordable weight. It's like a double-edged sword, you know, it's so complex. And I think that like, but I just want to acknowledge that too, because I think like a lot of people don't even have the time to take care of themselves or go inward because they're working 3 jobs, trying to provide for their family.
That was me. I literally was working 3 jobs at one point. Like I understand the struggle too. Like I really do. I've been there.
It's like, it's so much bigger than individual action too. It's like we got to work together here, because it almost, you know, like even with capitalism, it's like we are just like, the systems, it's just people are like so running off of their stress hormones in fight or flight, like just so at war with themselves, because they have no time for themselves, because they're living in fight or flight, because we got to like survive in this world. It's hard to survive in this world. You know, we've made it hard to live here.
It is hard. Earth is really hard. And something that's coming to mind too is, you know, I notice some people, you know, when they're really passionate about something, whatever it may be, and let's say they're fighting for a cause or whatever, you know, whatever it may be, oftentimes be very mindful of your, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, approach is not the right word, but when you're trying to, let's say you want somebody to understand like your side, they're not going to hear you if you're yelling at them and pointing the finger. Delivery, be mindful of your delivery, because you could be fighting for a good cause, but if your delivery is you're an idiot, you're you're not going to get the point across.
Yeah, I want to make it so clear, like even talking with people that you have opposing views with, Everyone wants to be seen, wants to be heard, wants to be understood. The more you can go in conversations so incredibly grounded, especially with people that have opposing views, listen to them with an open mind, an open heart. If you get triggered, you breathe through it and you love on yourself and be like, I see you, I've got you. We're going to sit here. We're going to keep our mind open. And then you listen to them, you reflect back what they said, and then you get a turn to be like, this is how I feel, and this is what I feel is going wrong, and this is you know, like I feel like so many of us, like we weren't taught how to communicate in a healthy way. So they're really big opportunities for growth and being able to like communicate with people that you have opposing views with and actually listen to one another. And like, maybe if you stay calm and grounded, you can shift someone's perspective. They're way more likely going to hear you if you first listen to them and hear them and acknowledge what and understand where they're coming from, so then they can understand and see and acknowledge where you're coming from.
And ask questions is something else I want to say. Ask questions to get them to reflect. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not in a way of like, oh, well, what about this? What about this? But okay, why does this or whatever bother you so much? Where, like, okay, but why? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like reflecting back through questions to get them to reflect. Delivery is so important. With that said, if you need to set healthy boundaries with people, that, you know, that's a whole other conversation,
definitely.
right?
For your peace.
For your peace. But I just want to say that because I see so many people fighting for a good cause, but their delivery is not helping.
Yeah, and it's like you've got to be willing to listen to the other side. Like you've got to be willing to just sit there and listen and understand where someone else is coming from, because a lot of people are really hurt by the systems we have in place, and they're voting for things because they genuinely believe that that will be the right answer, but they don't, but it's coming from things that they've been hurt from, you know? So like hearing their pain of like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I can see why you voted this way because you feel like it's going to help, you know, but here's this, you know? Like,
you know, like what's coming to mind too. And, you know, here we go getting a little controversial, or here I go getting a little controversial, you know, talking about, you know, COVID, like the vaccines and stuff. Like I'll be completely transparent with people. I did not get vaccinated. I chose not to. With that said, I have friends who did choose to get vaccinated, and I didn't care either way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting into this conversation because I knew people who, you know, let's say the medical system has hurt them in the past. I know people who have been, like my mom, for example, has been prescribed medications that have severely gotten her extremely ill. So the medical system has really hurt my mom, and I've like witnessed that, and I've witnessed that in other areas as well. Specifically with vaccines, I've known people who have gotten severely ill because of vaccines. So it's like it's based on people's experiences. People, let's say, because there's I'm like getting like nervous talking about this a little bit. I'm like getting hot because I got a lot of pushback. Like a lot of people treated me really poorly for choosing, you know, not to get.
Yeah. And I just want to say too, like I did get vaccinated, but I can understand. I think it's like, how can we just like understand where people are coming from? I know.
Friends.
And I believe in vaccines, and like I believe in vaccines, and I feel like they are so needed and so necessary, but I think we need to have a balance. And a lot of people have been really hurt by our medical system, so they want to go the more holistic way, and I totally get that, but like we got to meet in the middle and have understanding for people though, and like not fight each other. It's like, okay, let's see the wounds, let's see what it's done, and like how can we meet in the middle here, you know?
It's like I see truths to both sides. Like my mentality during that time was like, your body, your choice, and I, you know, genuinely understood both arguments, and I was very, you know, respectful of other people and their opinions.
We're interrupting this episode to share something close to our hearts, our virtual healing circles. We have been loving them so much and meeting so many of you incredible people through them. Brittany and I are passionate about bringing people together to support one another and heal in community. We felt alone on our paths for so long, and coming together in community has been instrumental to our growth, and we've both seen the importance in it. We aren't meant to do this alone. In unity and vulnerability, we find strength, courage, and support each other on our paths back to ourselves. Our monthly virtual seminars blend discussions, workshops, and practices to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Whether seeking guidance, healing, or a listening ear, our gatherings offer a safe, inclusive space for people to connect, heal, and grow. Join us on this journey of healing in community. Together we can heal, grow, and thrive. Register for the next circle using the link in the show notes. We hope to see you there.
But my point with giving that personal example, you know, is it's really important to, you know, understand that people have different life experiences, and people, you know, go through different things, and that's going to influence what they believe is right. And I feel like when you listen to understand, it opens up a whole new dialogue. And
because I think like even for us, like I could have been like, oh my gosh, you didn't get the vaccine, and like, oh my, do you not care about people? Like I could have been like really, but I understand. And I think that like, again, with everything, with abortion, with whatever you decide to do with your body, your choice. And I think there is a piece too where I want to touch on like knowing that you're in either regard, like your choice does have an impact on society at larger, you know, like, so we do have to be cognizant of how our actions actually like affect other people too. I think that's the big argument like with vaccines too. But it's not even like, it's just I think that was the biggest argument, you know?
Yeah. And like on my side of it, it's like, well, there has not been long-term testing on this. Like for me, it's like, I want to have kids one day. I don't know how I'm going to react when I'm older. I'm being respectful. I'm not touching people. I'm, you know, I'm keeping my distance. I was following the rules in that sense. Like I was not disrespectful at all. I wasn't around elderly people or anything like that, you know? And I'm like, I am being responsible. I'm taking care of myself. There has not been long-term testing. Like who knows like what the, you know, so there's valid arguments on both sides.
Yeah, on both sides. And I think like, how can we just like, I think that was another test of like, okay, we're going to throw this at you guys. Are you guys going to fight each other again? Or are you going to try and figure out how to like be compassionate and work together? Because it's like, I'm a holistic health coach. I believe in holistic healing all the way, but I also believe that Western medicine and vaccines and all of that have their time and place. Like absolutely. My mom, my sister are nurses. My grandpa was a doctor. I see the beauty in our medical system. I see the not so good things about the medical system, how we need to integrate both Western and Eastern medicine. But these extremes are just so like, I think it's like anytime there's extremes, it's like balance is so key when it comes to everything. I really believe, but it's so hard to get there.
Yeah, it is hard to get there. And when it comes to just your body, your choice, period. Regarding anything, but when it comes to abortion, when it comes to, you know, I feel
even like doing what you want to do, getting tattoos, getting you know, procedures done to your body, you know, your body, your choice. You are on your own journey. We will love you through it. You do what you need to do for you, and we'll figure it out.
As long as you're not hurting other people. I think that's the biggest thing. As long as you're not hurting other people.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to just touch on, we're running over an hour and we're going to stop, but I just want to I just really like for these abortion bans that are going on, and just like there's a lot going on with like women's reproductive rights, and women are going to die. And I think we need to realize how dangerous the laws that are being in place, like how dangerous these can be, because doctors' hands are going to be tied. And if a woman comes in and she is it's either her or the baby that's going to die. It's like they will not perform a procedure because they can be charged for murder. And like women are think about if you were pregnant, or even if you had a miscarriage, they may not be able to do a D&C because that would be taking out, that has, you know, doctors' hands are tied in so many ways. And like, just think about if you have someone that's pregnant right now, if something goes wrong, like a doctor would be fearful to even like interfere because of these laws that are coming into place. And it's just like so scary. It's such a scary time for women to even like, I don't think we realize how dangerous this is.
We need to use our voices.
And women's reproductive rights are so much more. It's education for women. It's healthcare for women, you guys. Like, oh my God, it's just these things, these abortion laws, these abortion bans, anything that like just the defunding of all of this stuff of Planned Parenthood, all of it, it's going to get so dangerous, and women are going to die and children are going to suffer. And it's just going to be it's going to get so dark for women. Like it's going to get really dark.
I have chills, you know, and really quickly too, you know, just the world was built for a man, you know, like just the workday. A men's hormonal cycle is 24 hours. A women's is 24 days or 28 days or something like that.
Wait, you said 24 hours?
A men's hormonal cycle is
24 hours?
Yeah, it's 24 hours, which is why they have, I forget exactly what it is, but like the workday for like the 9 to 5, it's built for a man, for a man to like, his energy peaks at a certain time, which is why he can get, you know, like, it's built for a man. And whereas a woman's hormonal cycle is it 28 days? I think it's 28 days, or it's like a month, right? Like our menstrual cycle. Yeah. I'm not an expert with this, you guys, but it's like men, their hormonal cycle, they have energy that peaks in a day and then lowers within the day and whatnot. A woman, it's like it'll be days where our energy is lower and then days where our energy is higher. It's like our work schedules should be based on the 28-day cycle, not on a 24-hour cycle. So it's like just how deeply rooted the patriarchy is. And even like all of these tests and stuff, it's like there's been barely any tests on like a women's bodies, you know, it's like it's all on men, and just the way a woman is a lot more likely to die in a car accident because all of like the safety features are based on the average size man.
Yeah. And I think that we need to realize that like a lot of men subconsciously or consciously do not want women in the workforce. And I think that that's part of these abortion bans and all of that, the reproductive rights. It's like, okay, if all of these women continue and have to keep their babies, like keeping women out, I think we don't realize like what's going on. How
deeply rooted it is.
Yeah, like it's so deeply rooted. Yeah. So yeah, if you are scared right now, we just want you to know we see you, we love you, we're here for you, we are in this together. And yeah, like I'm gonna do the best that I can to use my voice. Even this was kind of scary because I'm talking a lot about like my beliefs and all of that, but like I know I'm in the heart space and I know I care about people deeply. And I know that I'm supported by God, source, universe, very divinely led. And I know you are too. And I know we're meant to have kind of like uncomfortable conversations like this. So we are with you all. And obviously, if you don't resonate or agree with what we say, that is okay too. You don't have to. And we always are like open, but and if you voted for Donald Trump and I'm just RFK and all of that, that's okay. I'm just that image. I mainly want to say just like eating McDonald's, just instantly boys. You know?
And back to what we were saying before, it's like, I mean, I'm not American, so it's like, honestly, I don't know like how I would have freaking voted, you guys. Like, I'm like, I wouldn't want to vote either side. I would be like, can I vote for communities like coming back together, like if that's a possibility? Like,
and I think that's the beauty too. I got the message around like Brittany and I working together. She's from Canada, I'm from the US, and it's like we are working together and it's beautiful. Like we're not from the same place, and like it's beautiful. We're supposed to be working all of us together, you know. Even what's coming to mind, like with like not trying to bring up the vaccine thing again, but it's like we obviously had different views, you know what I'm saying? And like, and that's okay.
But like we're
not here to bash one another. No, you know, how can we like see each other's point of view and meet in the middle there? You know, and understand one another and love
one another. All the love in the world. It's a song. Maybe we'll link it in the description box below. You guys should listen to it.
All the Love in the World by MC Yogi. It's such a good song. Oh, that's what we need. We need more love in this world. And if you are spiritual, yes, beautiful. We are so spiritual too. Harness that spiritual connection and go do good out in the world, because it's not meant to be secret in your own home. No. It's meant to be out, spreading your love, spreading your light, holding space for the dark and feeling it, but not getting stuck in it. And coming back to the heart space. And
we need that now more than ever.
Yeah, we are the change makers. We are the ones who are going to help this shift to be a beautiful world. For our children.
Absolutely. Anyways,
Oh
thank you. We're over an hour today, you guys. Let us know if you listened to this whole conversation.
If you resonated, and if you don't, if you have a different perspective, feel free to let us know. We're open. So
but thank you all so much for listening. We are sending you so much love.
Yes.
And
we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Bye.
As we wrap up today's episode, we want to extend our deepest gratitude for joining us on this journey. Your support does not go unnoticed. If you enjoyed this episode and find value in our conversations, please take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback not only helps us grow, but also allows us to reach more people who can benefit from our community of healing and support. Every review, every rating makes a difference. Thank you for being a part of the Multiple Truths podcast family. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Multiple Truths podcast. Keep speaking your truth and spreading your light. We love you, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.